Alrighty.
Versions.
Music.
Yep. Okay. Let's
Oh no, I'm gonna go mute.
Okay. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Corner Wrestling Radio. We're live through C2C Spreaker.com/corner to corner on all your favorite podcast distribution places: Amazon, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, all the favorites, all the hits, everything you like to see with your podcast. That's where we are. I'm Stan Grubb. My tag team partner is with me, but he is tied up at the moment. Brian Taylor is here. Rob is off this week. We are live simulcast through NXT. Braun Breaker is center of the ring currently. Do not have any idea what is going on with NXT, so if I'm a little behind on stories or whatever, you're just going to have to forgive me, because I try to watch it when I can, but most Tuesdays, I'm not going to lie, I got Diablo 4 here I can play, I got Fight Forever I can play, I can always pull up reruns of Major League Wrestling, or hell, if I really, really want to, I could just put on a movie. So, I mean, it's just not exactly a priority for me. And a lot of that comes from, for being honest, I just can't follow it. Like, the character creation of it is almost like somebody is playing 2K23, and they said, let's go with a 1980s, early 90s build mentality, and that's how we're going to make our characters. I mean, look at Tiffany Stratton, for example. She is the textbook WWE diva. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the divas actually drew ratings at a period of time. Now, not so much. But that's my point. Like, I can't follow the character creation. I can't follow their story progression because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it exists. It's weird. Shawn Michaels is in charge of NXT, of course, from the creative aspect of things, and it's just, well, there's a reason he's my favorite wrestler, but also a reason he's not really my favorite booker. You know what I mean? Like, not really. Judgment Day is scheduled to be on NXT tonight. I have no idea what they're going to do, although apparently it has something to do with interaction with Carmelo Hayes. I will say this, as far as Carmelo Hayes is concerned, that guy has some serious potential, and when he finally does, I guess, get the official call up to the main roster, I think he'll do really well. Seth Rollins has already indicated some interest in wanting to kind of interact with him and have some work there. At the same time, Finn Balor apparently wants to maybe that's where Judgment Day is going to intertwine tonight, but Carmelo Hayes is definitely worth the money being spent. Last week on NXT, I did see this. I saw that the Diamond Mine, or the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus Creed, lost a loser leaves NXT match. So my assumption is that they'll get a call up to the main roster. The problem with that is with WWE's roster, it's already so bloated. Feels like we're back in, 2019 again? Looking at the same roster, just 120 different people sitting around while another 20 people takes up the main shows. And that's it. And the Creed brothers get called up. They're great. I think they are a real fun tag team to watch. They kind of remind me of how the Steiners used to perform, only maybe a little bit more of a brawler kind of sense. Not quite the same technical prowess. But I feel like the Creed brothers have opportunity there, and they get called up. They're just going to be sitting back and catering, or waiting for the next whatever 24/7 title becomes, because that's been apparently retired. So I'm sure they'll bring something up. Let's see here. Looking at news, there's really not a ton of major news except a few different things. Kota Ibushi is still rumored to be in talks with AEW. He had there's a report out there that he got an offer from New Japan Pro Wrestling for a new contract. That makes sense. I mean, he's such a big star. It'd be silly to at least not put an offer out there. But if he works for AEW, absolutely no reason he can't work for both. Do selected dates for different ones. Run the Blood and Guts, which is, let's see here, that's next week. So, I mean, that's 1 week away from Blood and Guts. We got the Blackpool Combat Club. They're going to have a mystery partner. We don't know who that is yet, so we're looking at Mox, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and a mystery partner against the Hung Bucks, Kenny Omega, and a mystery partner there too. So I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, Takeshita. Takeshita's on the BCC side. So there you go. But yeah, so each side will have a mystery partner for Blackpool Combat Club. If I was a betting man, I would guess that Ibushi will be there for the Elite, but I have no idea who could be on the Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, you got a lot of options that are already there, but to me, free agent wise, you go maybe you get Will Ospreay. I don't know, just somebody that that could be a real dark horse, but at the same, I don't know, dark horse isn't the right word. Somebody that would be a good surprise, especially coming out of the success of Forbidden Door. I mean, Kenny Omega and Ospreay's match was just tremendous, so it's probably where I would go. It's a lot of different directions to head in the first 6-7 minutes. That's a lot of ground to cover. This is why podcasts end up being like 90 minutes or an hour. Silly news, I guess. WWE stars attended the Barbie premiere. Looks like there's a bunch of different, everybody from Scarlett and Karrion Kross, Liv Morgan on the red carpet, posing with the different Barbie stuff. I'm sure some people think that's good news. I don't know. It just pops up on a news feed here.
Wait. So I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I hear you.
What in the hell are you talking about, Barbie?
Is that, would you just happen to pick it up when I said Barbie?
Well,
so,
no.
I'm scrolling through the news. You know how I'll go to like Lords of Pain, one of our partners, by the way, WrestlingHeadlines.com, LordsOfPain.net. And it just
CageMatch.com.
No, they're not one of our partners, although they should be for as much as we use them. I was just scrolling through the list of news, and here it is. It says WWE stars attend the Barbie premiere, and I was just talking about how, like, I guess that's news. I'm sure some people like it, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, but so let me ask you something, right? Now, I know, we do okay in the podcasting world, right?
We do.
And people will turn, because sometimes we give them what you call news, right?
I guess you could call it news, but yes.
Yeah, sometimes we do. Yeah, sometimes we try. Sometimes we just sit around and talk. Sometimes we BS, right? Well, but I mean, you just had a thing for about, Barbie not being, WWE going to see Barbie at the premiere not being news, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you talk about it and you make it news. You see what I'm saying? Like, you should have just let that one lie, bud. I think you have a deep fascination to go see the Barbie movie.
Wow.
And that's what we really need to talk about.
Brian Freud over here.
Yeah.
Dr. Brian.
I mean, did you touch the Barbies in an inappropriate way when you were young there, Stan?
I would never. Of course, I grew up with all brothers, so nobody ever there was never any of those in the house.
Well, is there what do you call it, stepsister?
I do have a sister, but she only lived with us for a very brief portion of time because her mom and my dad split, of course, and they ended up moving on. But she wasn't old enough to even have them at that point.
Yeah, probably because you played with her Barbies.
I caused a divorce from playing with Okay.
Listen, General, you need to discipline your son. He's touching the Barbies again.
I can't confirm or deny anything that's been said. These are all allegations. This is a very,
if you
very
don't paddle
stressful
him
time.
for rubbing Barbie's feet, I'm getting a divorce.
He said Barbie's feet? Ew.
Yeah.
So we're just taking it to the next level of nasty right there. It's bad enough we're talking about the dolls, but no. It's got to go to the feet. The doll feet.
Listen, like, I don't know if you thought just because I wasn't listening that you were going to be able to, drop some Barbie news.
Just slip into there. Brian's gone. Let's talk about the
Barbie movie. Yeah, but you should have figured that if I heard about it, I was going to let you know I heard about it.
Well, it's weird because I'll get movie news all the time, right? On my do you have Google Chrome on your phone?
No.
Okay, so I have it on my phone, and it'll pull up like because of your search history kind of thing, because of what you viewed. Like if you view movie news, it pops up movie news. So I get a ton of DC Comics and stuff, and wrestling and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But randomly, Barbie pops up, and this isn't helping my cause, but that's okay. Barbie pops up, and it turns out they tried to do a rewrite of the scripts. They wanted it to be a feminist Barbie. And the director, the screenwriter at the time, said that she tried, just couldn't come up with anything.
All right, so I'm not even touching that. Let's get back to why. Google Chrome feels that after your most recent searches, we're going to put Barbie as number one up there for you to check.
I have no idea why. It just shows up.
I have an idea why.
Phones are always listening, though. The microphones are always on, apparently.
I have a good suspicion why it pops up in your Google Chrome. Stan, based off of your searches, check out Barbie. You know what I'm saying?
We think you'd also like to see Barbie movie news.
Barbie's feet.
We understand that you're a professional wrestling fan and also DC Comics, but hey, here's the Barbie movie. Look at this doll's feet. What do you think of this? Answer in our poll today. Onlyfans.com/Barbie doll feet.
Don't.
Somebody will do it. Somebody will do it. Don't play. Somebody. It's already being done, I bet.
I might even do it. You know what the going price for like feet pics are?
Feetfinder.com is what the kids joke about.
Like, wait a second, I know that big toe. Where's Brian at?
Brian? No, damn it, I said no. No means no, Stan. Cost you $20 a toe.
Yeah, if you want to look, you're going to pay for it. Go check out my OnlyFans page. See a lot of it. So what else did you talk about that I might have missed? Anything?
I talked about as far as like how there isn't a ton of news this week.
Wait,
upcoming,
what?
We've got the announcement of the mystery partners for Blood and Guts this week.
How is there not news?
There really isn't. I mean, you tell me, buddy. I'm looking at the same news stuff that you probably look at from time to time, and
well, I mean, you had the Twitter meltdown of Matt Hardy and Jim Cornette and
Brian Last.
You had that.
What the? Okay, so I'll let's go into that because that's a good one. What in the hell is Brian Last thinking, telling Matt Hardy that he is more important than Matt Hardy in the wrestling business? First off, who the hell is Brian Last? I know, and for Sonny, I know you're listening. Yes, we know you know who he is. But find me another 5 people. Any other 5 people outside
I know
of the cult of Cornette.
Oh, well, outside, yeah, that'll be a little different maybe.
So, I mean, come on. So
Like
that's like me saying, hey, you know what, Hulk Hogan? You're no longer a household name. No, Corner to Corner is a bigger name than you, sir. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. What?
Yeah, I don't know how it started. I didn't catch that, but you know, of course, you know, the cult, as you would say, man, they will do anything and everything to like try and get recognized, and all day long it was posts and, you know, tweets and Facebook page or whatever this all was taking place, right?
It's been like 3 days now. It's still going.
Yeah, but again, you know, I get it all off the cult site because, like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, how are you that obsessed? Like, AEW lives in their heads.
Yeah. Rent free. Lives there.
Rent free, yes, lives there. And like, I mean, like, they're chiming in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're chiming in like anybody pays attention to them. Like, some of y'all are like probably certifiable, I think, at this point.
Well,
I mean, again, I don't know why it started, but I found out this morning, and every time I scroll through Facebook, there's, you know, 20 new posts added to the stupid chain between the three of them. And again, you got other people chiming in now. It's like, what in the hell is going on? This is nuts. But that was not the most ridiculous thing I saw off of that.
Uh-oh.
Off of the cult. It wasn't. It wasn't. And I probably shouldn't be saying this, right? Because I'm gonna get outed, right? Because I really enjoy reading, like, you know. Don't get me wrong. I like listening to Cornette, right? But Cornette has earned the right for certain opinions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Cornette's
I'm okay.
lunacy is earned.
Yes, I know. You know, I know his lunacy, part act, right? But part of, you know, how he feels, right? Mm-hmm. But again, he's earned that right? But the rest of them, sometimes I'm dumbfounded, like legit dumbfounded. Like, I was reading, I think, was it today or yesterday? I think it was last night. Anyway, so I was reading, right? And I'm a paraphrase here, right? But one of them was, they were discussing how wrestlers should, if they use their professional, like, page, Facebook page, they should act one way, and if they have a private page, that page is for certain opinions and shit like that, right? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they were like, well, no, they should use their public page this way and their private page that way. And I'm thinking to myself, like, hey, dipshit, how many private pages of wrestlers do you actually have? And the answer is probably zero. I mean, they had this long discussion, like they were included on private pages. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they shouldn't do that. They should only, wish if they're healed, they should only wish Merry Christmas to their family and friends, and that's for their private. You're not getting their private pages,
right?
And if you have one, it's probably bullshit. And then you had some that remember the 80s. the 70s, 80s, and how heels were before the business was bared open by Vince.
Mhm.
It's like that's what they're supposed to do. Back in the day, if you were in the shopping center and I don't know, Bruiser Brody walked by, not Bruiser Brody, give me a heel, Iron Sheik.
Mhm.
Hey, can I have your autograph? Get out of here. Take a hike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the business. The business has changed. They're not giving you their fucking personal Facebook accounts. I mean, it's the
You can go on
stupidity
Facebook
sometimes.
any time right now. Go through if you're a wrestling fan, you're already probably linked up with quite a few different, quote unquote fan groups and wrestlers, right? But there's a number of BS Facebook pages that are out there. I mean, let me just pull mine up real quick. Here we go, friends. If I scroll just a little bit, here's Tegan Knox. Let's see here. Well, no, that probably is his page because never mind. We'll keep it moving. Oh yeah, here's Tiffany Stratton. Yeah, sure. Here's hey, here's Mercedes Moné. Yeah, because she's gonna make her stuff public. Of course, all the fans. No, people, come on, man. Like, and I've been friend requested by these fake accounts, and then you get that message of, hey, thanks so much for being my fan. Send $20 and blah blah blah. And I bet you there's a lot of people that have actually sent money to these accounts.
That you have or other people?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Here's Hook. Here's Bull Buchanan. Oh man, yeah, got a bunch of them.
Now, see, I've never had that happen to me. Like, I'm Bailey with the WWE. You want to be friends? You know what I'm saying? Like those?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I've never had that happen. I've yet to have one happen. I have had shit from like the federal government pop up on stuff. I've gotten tweets from them. Not tweets, but instant messages from them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Vanessa, this is so-and-so with the Democratic National Party. And normally I'll play along with them for a little bit. And then eventually it's like, look, bro, I'm not Vanessa. You should probably learn whose phone number this is. And then, just say something stupid like, let's go Trump. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, the next day you'll get, hey, Samantha. It's like, oh, my God, we're doing this again.
But it's that time again. Time to donate to your favorite political party.
Yeah, let's fuck with the political parties. So I have strung some of them along. Yeah, just because it's fun, you just have to be careful you don't give any information out. But I've never been blessed by, hey, it's Bailey of the WWE. You may have seen me on Monday nights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hi, Bailey. Yeah, it's my dream come true. Now that I say that, guess what's going to happen?
You'll get a message from a Bailey account.
From a Bailey, yeah. I'm like, you're not Bailey. I am too, Bailey. All right. Well, prove it. Next time you're on TV, hold up a sign. You know what I'm saying? She'll do it. I'll be like, yes. And they'll be like, well, you didn't believe me. No. I'll be like, son of a bitch.
That would be crazy. If in that process she actually does it. She would do it too. She's that type of crazy person.
Yeah. But trust me, people, very few of you actually have somebody's personal page. Very few of you do. So if they want to use their private or public page in a way that wrestlers like to do it, let them do it and shut the fuck up. If they're a heel and they're acting heel, that's what they're supposed to do.
It's pretty bold for anybody to assume that they're going to be able to tell, a professional what they're actually what they should do. Hey, you're not allowed to give your opinions. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Did I forget the part where I bowed to what the fan tells me to do? No, that's not how that works, guys. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, at no point in time did Bret Hart ever say, hey, we should ask the fans if I should be nice to Shawn Michaels?
Right.
No. We never got asked that question. There was never a time where, Lita and Trish started talking and said, hey, the fans really seem to want us to not fight. Let's not. No, they did what Vince told them to do because that's their job. See, that's how that works. If a guy like Ryback wants to come out and publicly just run down the WWE because he was unhappy there, much as we like to make fun of him, that's his right. He can do it. If he wants to talk about a match with Goldberg, or if Kenny Omega wants to talk about how all fans should just lighten up and enjoy what they enjoy, that's his God-given right as a person.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell people now that because you're a wrestling fan, because you paid $20 for your ticket to their show. I see. So now you're in control. Right. Would you buy stock too? Like, come on. It always floors me. You see these kinds of things every now and again, but it's a big example with the Matt Hardy and stuff with Cornette, because at least when it's Cornette and Matt Hardy going back and forth, kind of like what you said, half you're looking at it, all right, these are guys who are just talking to keep people watching, and then the other half is, okay, maybe there's some opinion here, some real honest opinion here. But with a guy like Brian Last, who, yeah, I mean, he's had a decent run as a podcaster, but, I mean, we've been doing the podcast for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, you have. I don't think we have.
Well, yeah, I've been podcasting for a pretty good while.
Yeah. I don't think I've been...
10 years.
Yeah, I haven't been along for that long of a journey, have I?
Yeah, that's true, because we started, was it late 16? No, late 17. Late 17.
No, it's got to be earlier than that. Fuck it, maybe it is 10 years.
Could be. I'll have to actually look. I think our first actual episode was like in the fall of 15, but don't quote me on that. I'd have to go back through the archives. But again, at the end of the day, it really comes back to, knowing where you are. Like, even at the highest I can recall ever being, when it came to TNT Radio and then PW 24/7, we had a lot of known people doing shows on those networks, but at no point in time did I ever go to anybody on there and act as if I needed to assert my opinion out there as to what they should be doing. Mm-hmm. I was learning from guys like Matt Bourne, learning from Angel Orsini, learning from these folks that have been in the industry and continued, well, rest in peace, Matt Bourne, but Angel Orsini is still continuously active. But they were teaching us out of the kindness of their heart. It wasn't exactly like they were making any money with us. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where guys like Brian Last, guys like, to some extent, Dave Meltzer, to some extent, Brian Alvarez, and I hate to be so anti-observer, but those are the guys that end up getting exposed most of the time for just being so over-the-top opinionated that they forget that it's just not about them. It's really not. It's about what they're watching and what we're watching. And, at least in Cornette's case, we say it all the time because it's true. A guy earned his right. If he wants to be crazy, he can be crazy. He earned it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You spend that kind of time in the business. I mean, look at what Paul Heyman did. Paul Heyman was 16 years old taking photos at ringside and helping Bill Apter, and ultimately made his way to become what he is now.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't. Cornette followed a similar path, though.
Yeah,
he?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Cornette did a lot of photography and ring work and helping people set up and tear down, and he more than paid his dues before he ever climbed up onto a scaffold.
Yeah, and that was back when you actually paid dues.
Right. That was
You
back
know what I'm
when
saying?
that was back when a rib was legitimately somebody could punch you in the face just to make other people laugh.
Yeah, that was back when you're Hulk Hogan or Terry Bollea in your first day of training, he snaps your ankle.
Exactly.
So you want to be a wrestler, huh, kid? Wasn't that it? That's what isn't that what he said? They
he's
said
in there, and
you
I
want to
think he
be a
said,
wrestler.
was it Hiro Matsuda that did it to him?
Yeah, it was something
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
Goes in, they snap his ankle, and says, if he comes back, he must really want to do it.
Yeah, that's
Before the days of crazy ass lawsuits.
well. I mean, again, it's. I think we still have to go back to when Vince exposed the business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Vince has never exposed the business and completely outed the business, I think you would still get that. There would still be horror movies, or not movies, but horror stories,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even for us, I think with the 4 years I think it's 4 years for me with UCW or 5, whatever it would be, 2 in the early years and then the last few years, I would probably have gotten a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like if Vince had never, said no, we don't do stuff like that. It's scripted TV.
It always cracks me up.
Entertainment.
And it happens in our chats. It happens on Twitter, Facebook. It always cracks me up when people are like, I just want to see the product get better. No, you don't. No, you don't.
No.
You do what they call hate watching. You watch so you can complain. You watch so you can be upset. And then you come right back into the same routines and start saying the same boring bullshit that all these fans like to do. Oh, God, WWE has lost it. They don't know what they're doing. Meanwhile, they're still drawing ratings. They're still hiring people, and they're still making money hand over fist. We can complain about them all we want, but there's no disillusionment here. There's no false pretense. We know that they're still making money, in spite of the shitty decisions they make.
Yeah.
They're still doing it. AEW, say what you want. Yeah, there's tons of high spots. Yes, there's botches. Yes, there's whatever. But again, Warner Discovery must be pretty damn satisfied with what they're doing if they just gave them, what's this now, 1, 2, 3 live network shows. 3.
Well, doesn't Rampage fall off, though, eventually?
I don't know what the situation's going to be with Rampage right yet. I mean, could it? Sure. It definitely could. I feel like with what they're putting on as far as broadcast, it always has a different feel. It doesn't feel like the same as in excitement-wise as far as Dynamite or Collision. Collision right now is the brand new toy, right? It's the shiny toy. Everybody's excited about it. To their credit, they've had some really solid matches. Like Samoa Joe and CM Punk last weekend was great. The blind tag team tournament, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but that's been actually really good. But you get to Rampage and you look at results and you're like, all right, well, I mean, I could watch this on YouTube later. Like, it's not exactly appointment TV in my opinion. Which is a shame because there have been some good matches on Rampage. It's not to say that the show has always sucked or anything, but I'm not going out of my way to watch on Fridays. If I get a chance to even turn on SmackDown or Rampage anymore is kind of a mystery. If SmackDown's on, it's only because I want to see a segment, not the full show.
Well, apparently that's all it is now. It's a segment. It's not a full show. Honestly, though, I think Collision probably would have been better served to do the 605 spot. I would have put it there, and I know because at one time TBS ran shows 5 minutes late. That's where 605 comes from.
Yeah.
Because either for whatever reason, they're like, nah, we're going to start a movie 5 minutes late. It's going to run 5 minutes over into the next. I guess it was so you didn't automatically, turn the knob at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
It'd make you wait a little bit longer. And if you missed the first part of a show you might be more apt to, stay on TBS or whatever. I won't go out there and say the stupid shit that Coach said. Jonathan Coachman.
Coach said in an interview not too long ago, right before Collision Goes debuted, that WWE tried on Saturdays for years and never made any headway, which we all know to be complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Saturday night's main event, anybody? Come on.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure a staple of the 90s was Shotgun Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
But and then again, let's just look at WCW. That 605 on TBS was forever and a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was, you could almost say that was the flagship, even with, Raw and Thunder. I mean, 605 was the prime spot. And I do think Collision should have been on 605.
I would have really liked to have seen 605 happen, even if it was just for the nostalgia aspect of things.
Well, but see, here's the thing about the 8 o'clock spot, right? People want to go out on dates. People want to go to the movies. People want to, go do whatever. And at 8 o'clock, they normally are doing whatever. Mm-hmm. So if you're not worried about the ratings, right? Because again, in this modern age, I don't know how ratings are calculated. I'm sure there's more than just the Nielsen ratings because, I'm pretty sure that Warner Brothers a couple months ago when they were announcing Collision was like, Dynamite gets like 5 million people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, maybe there are other metrics and rating systems that they use and all this. And, I don't know. But I know
the Nielsen's are just extremely antiquated.
Oh yeah. They're so. I mean, again, there's so many different ways to watch a program now. I mean, even thanks to you, I have a way to watch Xfinity. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If I watch, I did it when I was in Tennessee. Thanks to you, I watched Dynamite or part of Dynamite. All right, does that number not count? I mean, I'm not watching it on a TV box. Does somebody not count those? The streaming numbers, I'm sure they are counted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure somebody somewhere has got them. But I think it'd be better suited for 605, the nostalgia. It's earlier in the day. You could watch it and still get out to the movies at 8:30 or whatever, and you'd be good to go. Because I totally missed the second Collision at 8 o'clock. I forget what we were doing. I did watch the third one, but the second one, it was like, I got a TiVo. I'm going out tonight. I can do, I'll watch it later or whatever.
I think when you look at what the options are, you honestly go in like one of the things I love about AEW is when they announce a show, they announce a card. Like, unless it's all in and they haven't even announced a match yet. But, hey, credit to them, $75K right now, ticket-wise. But one of the things I really like is that when we are closing up a show, it's pretty much our routine now. Okay, hey, this week coming up on Dynamite is X, Y, and Z. And the reason we do it every week is because it's announced. If WWE would announce their main events at least, for Raw and SmackDown, I would say, and then this week on Raw we've got this, and then this week on SmackDown we got this, but they don't do it. Mostly because Vince is changing it from Zoom meetings, but that's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it allows you to set your schedule. It is appointment television. I want to see what's going to happen with the announcement of who the mystery partners are, for example. I want to see Max, MJF, and Adam Cole, and what happens next with this blind eliminator tournament. Because they're setting it up in a way that, I mean, hey, we used to complain back in the day about how WWE always did the random pairings. But in this situation, I mean, look at what we're getting out of this so far. We got Max and Adam Cole, which that storyline's actually been pretty fun. Last week we got Swerve and Our Glory back for a one night only kind of thing. That was pretty cool. I mean, we got these points, we've got these moments where these are things we wouldn't otherwise see, and it's enjoyable. It's I don't know. They just have their finger on the pulse right now, at least as far as I'm concerned, as far as what's fun and what's enjoyable to see on TV. Sure, it could be better or worse or whatever, but I don't find a whole lot of flaws in what they do right now. I would like to see things different. I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett all the time, but this week we get an opportunity to see Jeff Jarrett and Matt Hardy in a tag team. And interestingly enough, you know, Big Money Matt in another universe could be a perfect partner for Jeff Jarrett. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be great TV, but it might be funny.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm down for it. I mean, I like Jeff Hardy, or not Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Jarrett. Mm-hmm. I've liked him since, you know, he first broke into the business. But I don't know. I don't like the random pairing.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, when you put Adam Cole and MJF together, it's almost like this whole tournament is designed just for this story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost would have much rather had them something happen the first round and they got booted out. You still don't have to have them fight yet. But, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, again, Swerve in their glory. Right? The two of them don't get along. And they should have been beating the piss out of each other as opposed to trying to win a match.
Right.
Well, why not have, you know, why doesn't Swerve just short arm them? You know what I'm saying? You could have had Swerve short arm Keith Lee, and Keith Lee still get the win, right? As Swerve is up at the top of the ramp, and Swerve is like, oh my God, you know, what do I got to do? And Keith Lee just keeps winning by himself, and Swerve's just, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't like this at all. You know, again, Swerve in their glory was an actual tag team. They were actual champs. I don't like it. I really don't. And this one, again, has like actual storylines built into it.
Right. Well, we got this week, it's Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin against Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. I mean, on paper, that match sounds like it's going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I guess on paper. I don't know what it is. I like Daniel Garcia, but I don't know if he's ready for prime time. I know Sammy is probably somewhere down the line going to get something. But Orange Cassidy and Darby, again, on paper look spectacular, but like if Orange is on this great like streak where he hadn't been pinned, hadn't been beaten, defended his title, why does he need Darby? Why wouldn't you fix it so that he's in there with somebody else and he carries the other guy?
Right.
You know, Darby's kind of the same way. For whatever reason, he doesn't lose all that often, even though he body-wise should not be winning at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, I'll watch it, but because especially with AEW, I don't necessarily need a storyline for them to get a good match. But again, I don't get invested in these things personally. I as a fan, I don't get invested. And again, you could even go back to, even classic WCW or WWF days, from the 80s and 90s, and try this, and I wouldn't get invested because I'd always be like, well, wait a second, that makes no sense. Why aren't these two fighting each other? Why aren't you, when you go to tag swerve, aren't you hitting them so hard you knock them off the, you smack him in the chest so hard to tag him, he goes flying off.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're swerve, why don't you short arm him? And, if you hate each other, don't like each other, why is there even a semblance of a team? Because I wouldn't, if me and you were doing it and I was the heel, for a fact you're getting short armed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if it's me and you, for a fact I'm pulling shenanigans. Like, we're not going to get past this match. Especially if me and you are feuding. We're going to be fighting by the time this is over. Like, they're going to have to break us up. Like, because that's the way it would have been in the old days. Take Harley Race and, try this with Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes when they were fighting for the NWA Heavyweight Championship. As well as I do, Dusty Rhodes would have turned to go make a tag, and Harley would have blacked his eye.
Right. We already know that the Horsemen would have never never played that reindeer game.
Yeah.
How many times does Sting get dropped on his head by Arn Anderson for crying out loud? Good Lord.
Yeah, could you see Flair and Sting? And the first time Flair wants the tag and Sting doesn't get it, Flair's going to be like, what in the world is going on? I'm the champion, tag my hand. Sting doesn't tag it. He's next thing you know, he's looking at JJ. 30 seconds later, you got three horsemen. Screw the rules. We're just going to beat up Sting for it. You know what I'm saying? We don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we don't, but we should have those. And maybe this is my problem. We should have those moments, right? And we haven't had one of them. Like, not one of them. Now, I say that, but this, we'll probably get that where Jeff will drop Matt with the guitar or something. But
yeah. At some point, either that or MJF will have a hangnail and leave Adam Cole hanging. Maybe they wait till the finals for that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that I know is coming because that's the big storyline. Mm-hmm. But again, like each week, if you're like, we got a face and the heel on the same team. Why is the heel not doing heel stuff? You know what I'm saying? The heel could do heel stuff and the face could still get the win. Again, let's take Swerve and Their Glory. We would have all bought it. If Keith is like staggering, goes for the tag, Swerve hops down and is all the way up the ramp talking to Prince Nana, and Keith gets gets a pin. And now, Keith, Swerve is just flipping out and throwing the announce table and slinging a chair down the aisle. But no, we don't get none of that. No, we're going to put our differences aside here. We're going to put them aside here. We're going to win this superficial tag team tournament. What do they get out of it? A tag team title shot?
Yeah.
That's it? Like, no money?
No
money, no trophy.
Just for a title shot.
Yeah. And maybe the other thing, too, is we're running it at the same time as the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah, it's like tournament season in AEW right now.
Yeah. Maybe let's just do one at a time.
I haven't, outside of CM Punk's match with Samoa Joe, I really wasn't all that into the tournament for the men's side, and for the women's it's even worse. I mean, and nothing against Sky Blue, nothing against Athena or Willow or Ruby Soho or anybody in the tournament. It's just simply that the layout is, in some of the matches we get them announced and we know they're coming, and then like we got Athena was supposed to take on Willow Nightingale in the quarterfinals. Willow's hurt. Lost the New Japan Strong Women's Championship to Julia in Japan. So now it's Sky Blue taking her place. Nothing wrong with Sky Blue, but if you're talking about matches people want to see, more people are going to want to see Willow against Athena than Sky Blue against Athena, in my opinion. I mean, and again, it's not a dig at Sky Blue. It's just new, and it's going to take a lot more time to get her to that level.
Well, I mean, I think they try with the women's division, and they have the talent, and maybe it's just because it is really fairly new in the grand scheme of things. But when you have Impact and how great their women's division has been since the inception,
yeah,
you know, it's kind of hard to, like, for me to be like, you know, oh, this is great stuff. And, you know, I do think that it is, while the WWE has better wrestlers in the women's division, it's not, I don't think it's handled properly. And whereas this, they at least try to handle it, but a lot of it just kind of falls flat.
This week we get the debut of Nick Wayne, 18 years old. This kid is 18, fresh out of high school, and he's got an AEW contract. His first match on AEW TV is against Swerve Strickland. I wish I could say to all of our listeners that probably have familiarity with him through Defy, I wish I could say I know about this kid, but I really don't. I know only the highlights of what we've seen on AEW and what I've been able to kind of piece together through YouTube. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't really done a lot of searching for it. But there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of people saying that this match with him and Swerve is going to be amazing. I'm down for it. I'm not saying it won't be, but that's a lot of pressure to put on an 18-year-old kid. Granted, he's been wrestling since he was 16.
Yeah, I don't think it's any more pressure. Because again, especially on his level where he came from, like you're taught, it doesn't matter if it's you're doing it to empty seats, if it's 5 people, if it's 20 people, if it's 25 people. Like you're not supposed to pay attention to it. And that kind of should get rid of some of the pressure. The fact that it's Swerve, who I'm pretty sure they show him fighting Swerve in his Tron video, should hopefully take care of some of the other pressure, because Swerve should be able to slow him up, speed him up. He should be comfortable with Swerve, and that's probably a smart move for a first opponent.
MJF and Adam Cole are taking on Brian Cage and Big Bill. Now,
Yeah.
MJF was on Twitter and said that he was really sorry, but he was sick and he wasn't going to be able to compete on Dynamite. And Adam Cole responded, told him to shut the fuck up, and that he'll see him at TV.
Yeah. So this match is probably going to be the short arm. MJF's up at the top of the ramp, counts to the 3 behind while he's looking up at looking in a different direction, only for it to be Adam Cole's done rolled up one of them. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then he turns around and it's Adam Cole and he's like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, there should be absolutely no way when you look at this. And of course, it's Adam Cole and MJF, but there should be no way that Brian Cage and Big Bill lose this match. If you look at it, I mean, MJF and Adam Cole aren't supposed to be friends. MJF's the bad guy. Adam Cole's the good guy. But I think you're right. I think that somehow it becomes that. Or maybe it's MJF uses the diamond ring and knocks out one of the guys, but with the ref, his back is turned, and Adam Cole just makes the cover.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, eventually we got to get out of because when's the next pay-per-view? That's not too far.
Well,
right?
we've got All In London, and then we have All Out.
When is All In?
All In is 1 second. I think it's August 27th.
Oh, so we got crap. We got a month to go with this.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Yeah, I'm getting tired of it already.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's frustrating because I don't want AEW to go to monthly pay-per-views. Don't get me wrong. I like their schedule, but when they have so much to do in between the different major shows, it's exhausting at times. For example, we're in a new storyline apparently with Chris Jericho right now, where Jericho is trying to find a way to yet again reinvent himself since he's been on the losing end so many times. And so now this week he's taking on Commander. Nothing wrong with Commander. Commander is a very entertaining person to watch, but realistically speaking, there should be no way a guy that takes, 30 seconds to walk the ropes should be able to even come close to hanging with Chris Jericho. But this exhausting storyline that we're about to begin is going to stretch until the pay-per-view. That's 5 weeks that we have to watch this. That's if it ends at all in. Like, what in the hell? Why? Why are we doing this? Why do we need to see this? Obviously, you have to give something for Jericho to do, so there's your why. But, it's exhausting.
Wow, what's exhausting? I did not realize you forgot the joy of storytelling wrestling.
Not with Jericho. I'm sorry. Jericho's storylines have been very few and far between when they were entertaining.
When I said I was getting tired of this, I'm getting tired of some of the same old rehash stupid storylines. Right? Again, this is with MJF and Adam Cole. This is another one of these. Oh, let's find something to put the two opponents together, make them run tag teams for a while, only to have them split in the end. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm tired of. Like, come up with something different, something original, something that ain't been used before, and maybe it benefits you. I don't really pay attention to Jericho, so one way or the other, it doesn't really affect me. But I think this will be somehow the start of a face turn. Mm-hmm. I think he'll get kicked out of the society, and so he'll have to be the good guy for a while.
I mean, hopefully the society disbands because, yet again, AEW has proven they don't know how to keep a faction going to have it really matter. How many factions have we had in AEW that have just fizzled?
Yeah, but this one, it wasn't never meant to be a main event faction.
You think so? You don't think that they had an intent for it to be a main event faction?
No, they never treated it like a main event faction. Unless Jericho had the belt. It was simply a way to keep the belt on Jericho, nothing more. This is not like the Horsemen, right?
Right.
Or the NWO, or
got that right.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't designed for any of that. You got a guy who doesn't wrestle in what's his name, Purple Hat. Oh my God, how do I forget Purple Hat? Swagger, whatever. Swagger.
I like this hat.
Yeah,
that always
whatever.
Me up.
What's he going by now?
It's Jake Hager.
Jake Hager. Yeah, Hager. Right. So you got a guy who's only had 2 matches in his whole time, right? So he's not doing you any benefit. You got Sammy, who is probably just as successful as Chris Jericho. If you look at in AEW, if you look at title wins, mm-hmm. And then you got Daddy Mac and was it who's the other one? Oh my God,
Matt Menard and Angelo Parker.
Yeah, there you go. You want to, and Matt's famous thing right now is you want to know how to get Daddy's nipples hard, right? That's their claim to fame. This is not you've loaded a faction with top tier talent.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the Heenan family or the York Foundation, right? This is what
Wow.
this is.
Damn, that is a pull right there. The York Foundation. Damn.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I get
you've
it.
got guys that aren't really destined to go anywhere. Yeah, again, I don't think it's that they don't know how to do factions. I think the factions that they have are just designed in such a way to get one person over. Even what was his first one? What was before the Jericho Society?
Inner Circle.
Inner Circle. Again, what did the Inner Circle ever really do? Outside of Jericho and Sammy.
Santana and Ortiz never did win the tag titles, did they?
No.
Damn, what a missed opportunity for that. Gosh, I didn't even think of it like that one, but that's crazy to me.
To me, again, it's the sole purpose is if Jericho gets the title to have a way to keep it on him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not like spectacular on the mic. They're not. I mean, Menard and Angelo can be funny, but at the end of the day, they're not really a threat in any way that I see it.
Right.
Hager, oh my Lord, I could do without him. So I don't think it was ever pushed right because it wasn't really technically designed to be a faction. It's just like, let's just throw a bunch of people together so we can put them on TV.
Well, it's even crazier because 6 days after All In, we have All Out. So we go to London for All In, and then to Chicago for All Out. That's a lot of money. Like, so if they decide to broadcast All In, and there are some rumors right now of an announcement as far as what they're going to do with watching All In. But if they decide to stream that or whatever, I mean, for the talent that's on that show, you're working, you do that, they're going to go all out match-wise because they want that 75,000 strong to really react, and they want to show strength in that market. So Lord only knows what we're going to see there. We could honestly see a title change with MJF. We could see a major storyline unfold. I mean, there's a lot of things, and the reason for that is because, when you really think about it, this is a major moment. This is a WrestleMania-sized moment for AEW. 75,000 seats is no small thing at all. Hell, 60,000. 60,000 is gigantic for them. And the sky's the limit, so they have to go all out for that. But then you go, pardon the pun, then you go 6 days later, and they've got to do it again. I mean, wow. That's ambitious, to say the least. I don't know. I'll put it to you like this, and this is just my personal opinion. Like, when we would sit down and plan a show, we would go through multiple creative meetings, chats, conversations, Zoom sessions, Skype calls. Hell, the day of the show, multiple sit down with talent, sit down with, booker and promoter and all of that, and throw ideas back and forth. Hell, before a match. And then a few months go by, we do it again. It was exhausting. It wasn't exhausting in a bad way. It was fun, but it was exhausting. Imagine doing that not just weekly, but 2 pay-per-views, 2 huge pay-per-view shows. I can't imagine the thought process there. Unless maybe they do like what was the event, Brian, that WCW did back in the day that did like multiple parts? Was it Great American Bash?
Yes, but the Wembley one doesn't have to be the storyline one.
Could it be kind of like Forbidden Door?
Listen, what AEW does very well is just throw matches together, kind of what the WWE does, sometimes. Because you don't need a story for every fucking story, you little nitwits. Sometimes people just want to see a good wrestling match. They could pack the card with that. Sure, one or two of them are going to have stories. But you could just pack in wrestling matches. They don't necessarily have to have stories. You can't tell me the 3 days of WrestleMania or 2 days of WrestleMania, every one of them has a story. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take some stories and you run them at Wembley. You take the other ones and you run them the next week. I can have Cole beat MJF at Wembley, and then MJF beat Cole back in Chicago.
That would actually be cool. I would really like that. That would be cool. I would love to see something like that. Because that definitely gives that Great American Bash vibe that you and Rob talk about so often. Like the one night they were doing the bunkhouse brawl, and the next night they did another thing. Yeah, that would be neat. Because they don't do that. They, as in the televised wrestling companies, they don't do that very often.
Yeah, but again, the Great American Bash was kind of different because when they did it this summer long, there were major storylines running through.
Right, through each night. Yes.
Yes. And again, we can divide the storylines up. Mm-hmm. Put the type of matches that people want to see on there. Why not do Omega versus Ospreay 3?
Yeah.
I don't need a storyline. I don't need a build-up.
No, that match speaks for itself. You do not need a
storyline. Omega's going to get a rematch. Mm-hmm. Where? At Wembley. That's. I don't need it. Just throw it on the marquee. And Bryan Danielson is better. Okada versus Danielson 2. Right? The first one was a little lackluster because of placement, because of this, because of that. Danielson got hurt. Let's run it again. If he's better by then, which he may possibly be.
The crazy thing is, and you said it was kind of lackluster. I felt like it was a great match, and I was even more blown away once I found out he had broken his forearm. To be able to perform at that kind of a level with one arm.
Listen, the mistake was you put it on after Omega and Okada.
Yeah, that's true. It does. You can't.
I mean, not Omega and Okada, Omega and fucking Ospreay.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Right,
yeah.
And then there wasn't there a match in between?
Yeah. So the way that Forbidden Door was laid out was I said exhausting earlier, but it kind of is. Like those pay-per-views are long as it is, but you go from I was Omega and Ospreay, and then you had the Elite versus BCC. I want to say there's another match in there. Then the main event was Danielson and Okada.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, but the crowd was deflated.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, because that's a long ride. That's a long ride. You've got a lot of ups and downs to try to get. Now, granted, I felt like the BCC and the Elite pulled the crowd back in, but it wasn't enough. Not for comparison-wise. That's a good observation. I agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, again, to me, it wasn't. I mean, literally, when they announced it, I was like, "Holy shit! This is the year. I'm about to see the greatest wrestling match ever." And I should have tempered my own expectations. But Okada versus Danielson? Are you kidding me? Like that's a dream match.
You can't not have high hopes for that. I mean, that doesn't surprise me that you would have that high of an expectation for that because it's the two best to ever do it.
Right, but again, he gets hurt along the way. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that ending was not the way it was supposed to go.
No, I don't think it was either.
Yeah, like they probably figured out, oh shit, his arm's fucking broken. Let's go home. You know what I'm saying? And then he couldn't pull off the first move, so he had to adjust to the second one, and it just didn't look right.
Although the damn submission that he tapped Okada out to did look pretty messed up. But I felt like with Forbidden Door, there were matches that went way too long. That when we got to Okada and Danielson, It felt like, because when you saw, I don't know about you, but when I looked at the clock and saw 10:55 and saw them really ramping it up to go home, I was like, okay, so they're hurrying. They're rushing right now. Like, you could see there was a moment where, and it's probably where Danielson broke his forearm, but the ref looks down to both of them while they're starting to get up, and he doesn't say a lot, but he says something to Danielson, and Danielson looks down at Okada and looks back up like, are you serious? And then they just kept going. And
Well,
I think that was after he broke his arm.
Well, you can tell where he broke his arm because it never left his side.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, getting back to all in, all out. Like, you don't throw all of it onto Wembley. You have to save some in reserve for the following week.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, again, you're probably going to make the mistake of, let me just throw as much talent on the show as I possibly can. Right? But they don't need, like, the whole roster to be on this show. We can, if Danielson's not back or not healthy, we can headline Omega versus Ospreay 3, right? Ospreay's from the UK, right? Or is he from, in the UK?
Yeah, he's from the UK, yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, let's get Ospreay in there. Probably the biggest talent out there right now for the UK. Let's get him out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give him, Omega again. It's going to be great. The first two were great. Right? Let's put Orange out there versus somebody. Let's put, the BCC.
And, Zack Sabre Jr. again.
Who? Orange and
Orange
Zack Sabre?
Cassidy, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe we're going to get the four-way again, or the way it ended.
Mm-hmm.
With Orange, Shibata, Zack, and who was the other one?
Garcia.
Yeah, I can do without Garcia. So let's just do a triple threat. Let's do the triple threat with the title, whatever. I don't know.
Back
maybe
on it, I got emotional seeing Shibata come out there just to wrestle again, dude. I mean,
oh yeah.
After everything that guy's been through, it is so cool to see him back and really wrestling in top form.
Yeah, I lost my shit last year at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Shibata, and then when he retired, I thought it was way too young, and I understand health reasons and all, and I didn't get to see his whole library of stuff, because it is New Japan and predominantly overseas. But I absolutely love Shibata. I'm glad he's back. But let's see a triple threat with Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy, and let's I don't know, throw the, I don't know what you call it, Mid-Atlantic? No. The All-Atlantic.
International title.
International, whatever it's called.
Remember, they leveled it up.
Yeah, let's put it on the line.
By the way, they should have just kept it All-Atlantic. Quit fucking around.
No, because you had flags from the West on it.
No, it's wrestling. That doesn't matter.
So, but you know what I'm
Western
saying?
States Heritage title. Let's just do.
Yeah. I mean, there's two matches right there that are going to hump that you don't need a storyline for. Oh, here's a better one. Here's an absolute better one, right? Because we totally overlooked this so far, right? Because we've talked about CM Punk, and we've talked about Omega, and we've talked about the BCC, and we've talked about Danielson being hurt. We've talked about two surprise people on next week's, not tomorrow night, folks, but next week's Dynamite in a blood and guts match.
That's going to be great.
Let's get Punk and Omega. So, apparently, Omega has no problem with wrestling Punk. And Mox has no problem wrestling Punk.
Did you see the story that Punk wanted to be in Blood and Guts?
Yes, and that's what I'm referring to.
That's crazy.
No, after what's even crazier?
I mean, I would love to see it, but it would be cool. But damn.
What's even crazier is Omega said, supposedly was like, okay,
Yeah, if they didn't already have a plan, apparently they were open to it.
No, the ones that weren't open to were the Young Bucks, apparently, from what I saw.
Which is just stupid. I don't understand why they have a thing against him. Punk's a polarizing guy, don't get me wrong, but he's really, if you really look at him, he's really just an old school guy.
But if you walked into somebody's locker room thinking you were going to beat him up, and you let the guy get the best of you, and then you let his buddy bite somebody, and then you took a steel chair to the face.
He bit a guy.
Yeah, you took a steel chair to the face.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to want to work with them.
Right.
But listen, like this is their first opportunity to be adults. And I don't know, again, if the story is true, it's story, right? Because we don't know.
We don't know for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know if any of this is fucking true.
And until Dark Side of the Ring does an episode, we probably will never know.
Right? But again, it's funny that Kenny supposedly was like, okay, let's do it.
Right.
And then the Young Bucks were like, no, we're not going to do that. I personally think this would have been the opportunity for the Young Bucks to show the world we're not in it for ourselves, and realized that, hey, let's do this, but I want to make sure that this gets out immediately that CM Punk is going to be the 5th member for the BCC. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want it known, because we're going to drive up tickets. We're going to drive up ratings. We're going to make sure that is must-see TV. But apparently the Bucks are more into it than themselves. And hey, and listen, you want to sell them last 10,000 fucking tickets?
Yeah.
You want to find standing room only at Wembley? You want to add another 5,000-10,000 fucking tickets? You get Kenny Omega and CM Punk to headline that show, and I'll lay you money it will become a sellout, and you could add an additional 10,000 seats, and people are going to buy them. You could probably very easily hit 100,000 people if you could fit them in Wembley based off of that alone.
I mean, Punk and Omega would be tremendous. And what we've noticed with CM Punk is that, all those worries about, hey, is Punk 100%? Yeah, he's 100%. We watched his match with Samoa Joe. We watched his match at Forbidden Door. Yeah, Punk's good to go. He's not wrestling careful. He's not wrestling crazy. He's had some solid matches in his return. His match with Samoa Joe was hard hitting. His match with Kojima again was hard hitting. Yeah, I'm in. Let's see Omega and CM Punk. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, short of the next guy for the BCC being Ospreay, right? It better be Punk. If it's not one of the two, or then you've really fucked this up.
Well, that's what I was saying at the top of the show was, with the announcement, that's what I want to see, and kind of it seems like the given for the Elite is going to be Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi,
which is cool. I'm good for that. But on the other side of things, if it's not Will Ospreay, I mean, who the hell's it going to be?
Right. It makes no sense.
There's not really a free agent out there that's really going to sway it. CM Punk makes great sense. If you think about it, from a story perspective, this would be super smart. You can make a real amount of money off of this just by simply saying Punk has aligned with or aligned against the Elite.
Yeah, but Yeah, but
started.
he doesn't even have to align.
Yeah.
Like the story has been written,
Right.
right? This, again, we were talking about the Colt earlier, and I lay you money that it'll pop up on his podcast, and even he will tell you about how you need to blur the lines sometimes.
Right.
And this is their first big opportunity at blurring the lines,
Mm-hmm.
like legit. Like I had to go on to them and say, "Hey, no offense, but supposing we're about to pay you all these big fucking contracts, and you
Right.
two little guys are going to grow the fuck up, and you're going to goddamn go out there, and you're not going to do it for you. You're not going to do it for your family. You're going to do it for the guy that fucking brought you to the table.
Right.
You're going to do it for me. I am asking for this. No, as a matter of fact, I'm telling you this. If you don't want to do it, I'll replace you."
That's what I think, and this is just what we, in my opinion, I would put it to this way. That's what I feel like sometimes is missing from AEW. That accountability. Everybody is replaceable. It's one of the. I mean, it always pissed us off about WWE, but it's still the truth in wrestling in general. Everyone's replaceable. You can always find another person, another star. And for again, if this story is legitimately the way it played out, then the Bucks should not have been put back in a major storyline when they came back.
Well,
Or they should have actually had their what is it, EVP titles taken away. Because that was
yeah,
their
but
bullshit anyway.
we don't know if they haven't, right?
Right.
Because but the thing is, right? There comes a time for Tony Khan to be a promoter.
Mm-hmm.
You've done put food on their table. You've probably paid them more than they've ever gotten as a performer. The likelihood of you going and making that money at the WWE are slim to none. The likelihood of you going to the WWE and making a name for yourself in the WWE are zilch to none, because if you don't think the moment you didn't sign, you wouldn't turn into Gallows and Anderson.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Because if you don't think that Vince holds a grudge, and if you don't think Triple H holds a grudge, let's see. Let's find some examples. Gallows and Anderson's a good one. They got brought back, but what have they done?
Yes, and see, you're not a Cody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even Cody really hasn't done much. But projected at 40, he's going to get a shot. Maybe sooner, maybe later. Who knows?
Cody is their top merch seller.
Well, no. What I saw, it was fucking Baron Corbin.
What? Hold on. What? What did you just say?
Yeah, supposedly it was Baron. I'm pretty sure what I read was in order. Now, maybe it was not in order and I just misread it, but it was like Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns, Austin was still on the list. Cody was on the list.
Be there. Yeah.
Cody was on there.
February. Okay, here it is. April, most recent. Roman Reigns #1, Cody #2, Bloodline 3, Bray #4, Bray Wyatt #4, Brock #5.
No, there's
seems weird.
There's one out there with the top 10, and I'm pretty sure again it was in order, and like Corbin is supposed to be #1. Like I have never in my life seen a Baron Corbin shirt. So unless he's selling the F out of goddamn action figures, that list is bullshit.
I was gonna say, yeah, that seems like bullshit. Well, here's one that shows LA Knight in the top 5. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Stone Cold, LA Knight, the NWO. That seems at least a little bit more realistic in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, I literally want to know where these fucking t-shirts are. I haven't
I see Baron Corbin, none. I see LA Knight, none. I see a crap ton of Cody, Bloodline, and Roman.
I don't see them out on the street.
Well, that's true. But then again, the only other wrestling shirts I see out on the street still to this day, especially in this area, is Bullet Club.
Yeah. But these are like top selling shirts. Like how many
Yeah.
you're selling? 5 a month? I mean, even in the arenas, like you'll probably see more Cornette shirts than you will Roman Reigns shirts. It's crazy. Or tell me another lie. But anyway, I would have made the Bucks get in there. You're going to grow the fuck up now. I've done this for you. I've employed your wife. I've employed your wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying you more now than you've ever been paid before. I'm giving you all these perks, all these comps. Guess what you're going to do?
Hired to do literally
nothing. Guess what you're going to do for me? You're going to climb your little ass up into the fucking blood and guts, and you're going to face CM Punk. Now, it's big enough. That cage is 2 cages, and there's plenty of room. Y'all don't have to touch each other. But you're going to do right by me on this one. And you're going to climb your asses up in there. And if you fucking no-show, you're going to sit your ass at home. And I'll guarantee you that I'm not releasing you 2 out of your contracts. And I'm not paying you because you're sitting at home. You're not getting any dates. You're not selling any merch with AEW on it. You're not going to do nothing but sit at home and watch your bank account dwindle. Mm-hmm. You're climbing into the cage. And no offense, but that's how Vince would probably handle it.
No, I agree. Vince would have never tolerated that shit. It would have literally been, oh, you're not going to perform? Get the fuck out.
Yep. Get the fuck out.
He would never tolerate that shit. We can complain all we want about Vince, and Vince is definitely out of touch creatively, but the last thing he would have done is let the inmates run the asylum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because, I do enjoy AEW by and large still more than any other product out there, but there isn't, and it's kind of obvious, a feel of just like there's not any faith that he's the boss. Like, he owns it, and he makes the announcements where he can't blink his eyes, which is always really weird. But he's not. It just, on the surface, because we may never know, but on the surface, it really doesn't look like anybody's held accountable. It felt like when they did the suspension after Brawl Out, if it hadn't been for their legal team, nobody would have been suspended.
Yeah, but again, though, this isn't a mom and pop grocery store.
Exactly.
In a business like this, you have human resources to deal with the problem.
Yep.
So he is not going to be the one that dictates, but so much of what occurs.
Yeah.
He'll be the one to say, go the fuck home.
Yeah.
HR will call you tomorrow. And then HR will do their thing. They'll make the recommendation, and then he will go from there. That's the way most businesses are going to be laid out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's the fact that he doesn't, like, the inmates run the asylum, because that's not the case. Right? Pound for pound, that locker room is not as crazy as what people say. And you want to know why? Because you have people like Eddie Kingston, who is very opinionated, who isn't going to sit there and blow smoke up your ass. He's like, no, I don't know where the dirt sheets are getting this. Where they're getting it because it sells. It sells, right? Again, what did Eric Bischoff say?
Controversy creates cash.
Thank you. And it's not creating cash for AEW, of course, but it's keeping Alvarez and Meltzer and a lot of these other guys employed.
And it's out there because someone wants it out there.
No. It's out there because again, I could do what Meltzer does, mm-hmm. right? He's only right about 50% of the time, and I bet you if you were able to catalog his his tweets or whatever, predictions or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it would probably be less than that. Because sometimes they feed him shit just to make him look bad. Or things change and they don't tell him it's changing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, we could play the prediction game and probably have just as much of a if you were going to score it, we'd probably be in about the same ballpark, right? He's not in the production meeting. He's not, Tony Khan's not the one telling them these things. It's some guy who has no clue and they're just guessing. Or, oh my God, the Bucks, the Bucks went and took a poop at 12 o'clock today. David, does that help your newsletter any?
Mm-hmm.
And Dave's going to spend it all at 12 o'clock. The Bucks were seen going into this dressing room, where they had a meeting. Oh, they went to take a poop. But the Bucks aren't going to confirm one way or the other. They went and took a poop. Tony Khan's not, like, literally most of the time you only have that person's word for it because nobody's going to confirm it. And then the next news group jumps on it right on down the line. Right? So a lot of the BS that's out there is simply BS. It's the same as the WWE. There's a lot of BS out there.
Yeah.
And until it's proven, like LA Knight, right? So, yeah, LA Knight, should win Money in the Bank and all this stuff. And then you find out, no, Triple H is going to change his character. That's the last thing I saw, where they're going to change up LA Knight for whatever stupid reason. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's growing out of their control. He's getting bigger than, what they thought he could be. No, let's WWE him. Let's reel him back in. Let's give him a hat and a lollipop and have him skip up the aisles. Right? So, but at the end of the day, Tony should have been like, no, you're going to climb your ass in that fucking cage. And here's why. And oh, by the way, I'm about to make you richer. Because again, the report is AEW is going to pay them more money.
Yeah.
And I bet you they probably would have caved. I bet you one of them would have been like, hey, Matt, we should probably do this. It's only for one night. I mean, I'm the guy that got hit in the eye. And if I can get over it, Matt, you should probably get over it. Mm-hmm. Or Nick, or whichever one is still all up in their fucking feelings.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe they dangled it out there in hopes that people are going to turn in anyway, and maybe it's already a done deal and whatever. But, God, man, you're missing the fucking boat. You want to make goddamn money. Let's get FTR and fucking CM Punk versus the Elite.
I think we're still going to get there. I don't know if we'll get there before next year. I feel like they're going to try to push this into a collision course kind of thing where they ultimately collide at, what's the February one? Full Gear, I think is what it is. Or is that Revolution? I don't know. I get them all mixed up. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what they're aiming for. I think what we're going to get, I think your idea is probably spot on when it comes to All In London. It's probably just going to be, all right, well, we're just going to put the best matches possible out there, period.
Yeah.
You might have a few stories there, but you'll probably just by and large have just your best matches.
Mm-hmm. So we're just going to put on a wrestling spectacular. And if they're smart, if they're really fucking intelligent, if they really got any hope for this, they called AAA, send me your best. They called New Japan. I want Okada. I want Ospreay. I want Naito. I want these people. Zack Sabre Jr., I'm giving you a spot on the biggest stage you will ever have. Mm-hmm. What the hell are you doing, dog? Oh my God. Sorry, my dog's I'm kind of like just scratching the dog.
Hmm.
And she's kind of just eyeballing me and like with this big old grin on her face, like, oh, that feels so good. But she's like literally like zoning out but the look on her face was priceless. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, I don't need to necessarily do Forbidden Door 3 here, but why not give them a spot at the table? You know what I'm saying? Let's give them a pre-show match. You know, let's put them in the card somewhere, right? And that way we don't need to run as many stories. I mean, who doesn't love to see Okada? You know, who wouldn't love to see Okada on the card somewhere?
I think that'd be great. Especially, I mean, if Danielson's healthy again, we can get a rematch. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get one. I just don't know when. I would imagine, like, after watching the press conference, I think Danielson is happy with the match that he pulled it off with a broken arm.
Hmm.
But I bet you if you asked either one of them what they actually thought, they would probably both be like, no, we could do better.
Yeah.
And we want to do better. You know, oh no, by the way, don't put us on last. Like
Right.
don't deflate the crowd and then
Don't make us follow Osprey and
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I would do for All In.
Hmm.
And that's the first one, All In. I'm like, hey, anybody else want to join in? You know, I got a few slots. Because, you know, fuck it, we're just gonna run this pay-per-view till the wheels fall off. You know, the pre-show would be 2 hours long, just like a WWE one sometimes. Because the WWE does 2 hours sometimes on the pre-shows.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it, let's make it 2 hours long. Let's get some matches up in here. Eddie Kingston just won the belt in New Japan.
Hmm.
Well, let's get Eddie Kingston defending his newly won title versus a New Japan talent. And not the one that not ones that normally show up. Let's get somebody new in the mix. You know, let's get Okada over here. Let's get any number of AAA in here. Let's do this. You know, I have a feeling we're headed towards. I want to say the Dark Order. Oh my lord, I almost said it. Aleister Black and his group versus Ingo Nobles, right, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's coming. Like, let's make sure it's on the card for Wembley. Let's not wait till Chicago. Let's put it on Wembley and just let Roosh just like go nuts.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just go to town, guy. You know, there's so much you could do at Wembley that you don't necessarily need to continue the next week. You know, your talent roster is so big that if you schedule it properly, you can give people off the following week,
Hmm.
and it's probably not going to affect you much. Because Lord Almighty, it is Chicago, and damn if they're not a wrestling town at the moment.
Yeah. Now this week we've got, this week and next week, two really good, especially for the old school fans. We've got 2 episodes of Dark Side of the Ring that are going to be pretty good. You got the tragic fall of Adrian Adonis this week. Actually, tonight is when it airs.
On right now?
And then you've got next week Abdullah the Butcher, Legacy of Blood. Those are going to be some really good episodes.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I love me some Abdullah the Butcher.
Now, last week's was Junkyard Dog. That was actually a pretty good one. It is a real cautionary tale about somebody that possibly could have come back from what happened and maybe rebounded in WWE, but got deep into, with his demons and drugs and alcohol, and caused a lot of issues. But it was still a really solid episode.
I mean, outside of the don't do drugs,
Right.
which most of them are, because most of these are tied, like we should learn our lessons about doing drugs. Maybe if it goes for another season, you'll get a Louis Spicoli one, and you'll really learn about, don't do drugs.
Right.
But, again, to me, he was a missed opportunity. Because you really could have put that title on him. And I think at that time, he could have held that title just as well as Hogan. Maybe not for the longevity that Hogan held that title, and the whole rock and wrestling thing, but he was a part of that. He was a major part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why you didn't. Like, I get that it's Hulk Hogan, but God, this is the Junkyard Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll lay you money if you could literally somehow, like, compare the two. The Junkyard Dog's going to beat Hogan and, every time. I mean, he literally drove, a federation. Like, I know it was a smaller federation than the WWE, but he was the guy. And in New York, he should have been the guy. And I've said it before, even before that show. He should have had that title run.
Mm-hmm.
He really should have. And I think Vince fucked up. Vince was looking right when he should have looked left. I mean, shit, everybody loved him. And he's probably one of the only few that had the issues that I can overlook. You know what I'm saying? You there?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm listening.
Oh. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that he had his demons and he had his issues. But this was goddamn JYD.
Well, I mean, it speaks to that as well as like with Jake Roberts and the segment they filmed where Roberts DDT'd Hogan, and the crowd went absolutely bananas for it, and they never aired it.
Yeah. But, Hogan lost more than he won, from what he says.
Yeah.
Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, winning matches, some of you people out there that have your little Facebook pages or your podcast, you really owe it to yourself to do your homework. One of these sites was patting Sheeta on the back for being the first woman in AEW to 1,000 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. I did see that.
And would somebody care to explain to me, like, if Sheeta has even wrestled 500 times for AEW?
Yeah, that was a pretty inflated statistic. I don't know where that came from or who out there said it's 1,000 and why, but Sheeta in AEW, yeah, no. I'm not even sure if it's 200.
No,
I'm
it's not. I mean, you have some that are just crossing, like the guys up top, like only this year crossed 100 wins and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if we have 100 plus winner yet. I think we have 100 plus matches. I don't know if we have, Orange might be close because Orange doesn't really lose all that often, but we're not at 1,000 people. Like, and then the comments were all like, congratulations. Like, nobody called you out as you bullshit. Like, nobody in AEW has even wrestled 1,000 times yet. I mean, you have people that go like 20-year careers that don't even wrestle 1,000 times to get 1,000 wins.
So here's AEWResults.com. 98 matches is what they show. Internet Wrestling Database, 122. Let's see here. Cage match. Let's see here. Now, CageMatch.net has a more complete listing of all of her matches. Let's see here. Dating back to 2008, 1,406.
Yeah, but she hasn't won 1,000 times for AEW.
No. She hasn't even won 100 in AEW.
Right.
Like, come on, guys. Let's not. Let's just
Like,
not.
use your words, people.
Google is your friend. That I would say.
Well, I mean, have somebody proofread it. She has not won 1,000 matches for AEW because that's how you wrote the damn thing. Not, she just picked up her 1,000th win ever since the start of her career. No, you wrote it. It appears that she just got 1,000 wins in AEW.
On a Rampage, AEW metrics on Twitter. On AEW Rampage, their 100th episode, the winner of this match will earn the 1,000th win in the history of the women's singles division.
At AEW?
Even that doesn't seem like it makes any damn sense. Out of all of the women's matches in AEW?
There's no way we've had 1,000 women matches.
1,000? Are they including Dark and all that, too?
There's no way it's 1,000. No way.
That, yeah, I don't buy it. I'm sorry, I don't think that is anywhere close. Okay. So we're just creating stats now. Is that what we're doing? We're just creating them.
I mean, think about it. All right, so we'll take Dark and Elevation out the picture, right? So on average, on a Wednesday night, how many women's matches do you have? 2?
1, maybe 2. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go high. We'll go 2, right? On a Friday, it's about 2. So that's 4. We're not counting Collision because it's only 3 episodes deep, right? So, well, I don't know. Maybe, kid. Maybe. How many years has it been going on?
19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years?
No. If it started in 19, it's got to be 4, almost 5.
Yeah, almost 5.
All right, so just off of Dynamite and Rampage, at 4 a week.
104 for a year if there's 2 episodes.
All right, so that would be no, yeah, we're not even fucking close. Jesus Christ, we're not even fucking close.
I mean, they haven't even done enough. Well, they definitely haven't done enough TV shows.
Yeah, but
haven't done enough house shows.
Dark and Elevation, they would just like. I mean, there's gonna be like 6 of them on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, Dark and Elevation was on for a few years.
Yeah, I'm still not buying
Still
1,000.
not hitting 1,000 though.
Yeah, I don't think we're hitting 1,000. I think that's somebody
This is
bullshit.
the Goldberg streak myth
Yeah,
right here.
bullshit. This is Ryback saying I'm gonna make some money for it if you hire me.
Me and
Oh crap!
Goldberg have
No.
the best match of all time.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get a cease and desist. Oh Lord have mercy.
No. That's a whole lot of no.
Wow. Yeah, but you can't talk about Ryback now. You're not even allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, well, apparently he's well, the guy from Ringside News, that jagoff, he apparently was tweeting out some really horrible shit about him. And yeah, that didn't work out too well as he apparently got locked up. Ryback's not playing. You talk that mess about Ryback, he gonna put you in jail. Mr. Ryback, sir, I just want to say everything we've ever said has had to do with wrestling, not you as a person, sir.
You little curtain jerking motherfucker.
Well, that's it. Brian, you'll be next.
Yeah, I'm next.
Feed him more, Brian.
Oh man. I mean, hey, personally, I got nothing against the guy. You know? Ryback, yeah, bro. Like, wow, just wow. Like, you're about to reach like Hellweg type level of sanity here.
Only here's the thing. In a few years, one, they're not making a DVD about you, and two, you're not going into the Hall of Fame. They won't make an award after you. They would do the rise and fall of Ryback, but there was no rise.
No, that would be funny. The rise and fall of Ryback. Just name it the same as the Ultimate Warrior. Everything in there is the same except for just using Ryback. Like,
oh my gosh.
Line for line, you just replace it where you need to replace it. You're not even worthy, or just dub it. Like, you'll hear dubbed over.
The guy that would be the pick to really unload on him would be Punk. Just have him go off. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. No, then he'd probably get mad and shoot Punk. Anyway, so before we get in trouble,
we're on the Ryback list.
Yeah, we're on the list. He's gonna block me.
Get all upset. Get blocked you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter's all screwed up anyway now. Twitter's a cesspool. Like, it's Elon Musk decides he's going to control it, does all his stuff, and he's done it. He did it, and now all these people are running out of the ability to tweet. Everybody's exiting the social media platform for Threads and Bluesky and what's the other one? There's another one out there. There's so many damn social media outlets out there.
Twitter, Facebook, they're all toxic. They're all cesspools.
Yeah, they are. They are very toxic. I'll give you that.
Like, they've always been that way. They're never going to change. You can't, hire enough people to go through every fucking tweet all day long. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that would drive me nuts.
When I don't have to face somebody, I can talk as much crap as I want. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why they're so toxic. Although I am kind of curious how Zuckerberg and Musk are going to play out here in their little MMA match. I hope they put it on pay-per-view. I'm buying that bitch.
They would.
I'm buying it.
They'd stream it through all of the platforms.
No, I want them
the metaverse versus the Twitterverse.
I want them to charge me $50. I'm buying that match.
Come on.
Stop
it.
I'm doing it, man. This is a dream match, right?
Really?
Yes. This would be like Bill Gates and what's his name from Apple?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs being like, you know what, motherfucker, just beat me down on the corner. We're gonna fist fight.
This ain't about business no more. It's personal.
That's it. In case you done made it personal, you done stole my technology again. Let's fist fight. Punk.
Jobs, rest in peace.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is Dave Thomas and Ray Kroc. No, not Ray Kroc. Who did McDonald's? Isn't it Kroc?
Ray Kroc, yeah.
Yeah. This is like, yeah. All right. Let's find out who's got their burgers are the best.
Meet me on the corner.
Main Street at 12 o'clock noon. We're going to duke
outside.
it out old school. We're going old school. The one with the one arm is stretched further out than the other one.
Oh, yeah. Come on, put him up.
Yeah, put him up. We're gonna fight. We've never gotten this before.
Oh, man. Be like Hogan's celebrity wrestling company.
No, I mean, we can only hope this turns into the Star Trek episode, the Mirror Star Trek episode. I think it's yeah. As weapons fall into the cage.
Oh my God. Well, there's no time like the present for us to bow out peacefully. Gracefully.
Oh wait. While I mentioned Star Trek, all right. So I have the original series. I recently got on Vudu, all three seasons, and I've watched them before, but I didn't realize, and maybe somebody out there can help me. They can like post it on the page or something. Why Star Trek Episode 3, Season 1 is so fucking completely different than Episode 1 and 2 and everything that comes after it. It's almost like it's the pilot, but it gets put into the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's some old ass doctor that, like, the uniforms are completely different. The phasers are different. I mean, it's like where did this come from? And it's like smack down in the middle, So I don't know if it was supposed to be the pilot or if it's Voodoo put it in wrong or whatever. So
I mean, come on. They had a lot of things going on back then. It's tough to keep everything in line. They did a lot of drugs. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but dude, it was. I started watching. I was like, wait a second. I had to cut it off. I had to go back and read the description of the episode. I was like, the fuck am I watching here? Like this does not even resemble the first two episodes. It's completely different. So it was weird, dude. It was weird. So anyway, cut this show. I'm done. I'm done talking to the masses.
That's it.
Yep, that's the program. I'm done talking to them. They've got enough of my blood for tonight.
All right.
Blood suckers.
Catch up with your boys on the Twitter bot. We're still there every now and again. I don't know. It's at Rob Hefner C2C, at Stan Grubb C2C, at Vlad Dragul C2C, VLADDRAGOOL C2C. Then, of course, at C2C Radio Show and C2CRadioshow.com. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about the upcoming Blood and Guts. We'll do a look at what we saw with this blind eliminator and see if maybe it was any good. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Maybe we get a match announced for All In. We'll talk about it. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.
Y'all make me tired.
It's hard work. Hard work.